Hi, my name is Dr. Marwan Alabadi. I'm the clinical head for Dr. Michael's Dental Clinic and I work as a general dental practitioner in the clinic. I'm here today to talk to you about the overuse of antibiotics and the misuse of antibiotics and the detrimental effect it has on the overall health of the human body. We basically need to restrain ourselves from overusing or overprescribing antibiotics, as we're using them without any effect and needlessly in the majority of cases. People tend to self-prescribe antibiotics for simple illnesses such as the flu or a simple common cold. Now, these illnesses are actually caused by viruses and not by bacteria. Therefore, the antibiotics will have absolutely no effect on them whatsoever. And all we're doing is actually increasing the body's resistance to the antibiotic, making the antibiotic less effective for future use. We're also occasionally self-prescribing the wrong antibiotic for specific infections, even if they are bacterial infections. Certain antibiotics have certain effects on certain bacteria, and therefore, we need to make sure that we are targeting the correct bacteria by using the correct antibiotic. Most patients are also guilty of not completing a course of antibiotics when prescribed. This increases the likelihood of resistance to the antibiotic. It's therefore imperative that we continue the course that's prescribed for the whole duration of the prescription and not discontinue the use of the antibiotics when the symptoms have resolved. Thank you.
In a sense, like looking through a frosty glass.
This is how more and more people are seeing the world. Up close, everything is clear, but move farther away and it all becomes a blur. Rates of myopia or nearsightedness are skyrocketing, and scientists say it appears Canadians are losing their vision younger than ever.
So we're seeing children as early as 5 or 6 who are becoming myopic, and that's one of the concerns that we have, is the earlier onset than we used to see perhaps 20 years ago.
A recent study has found that in children between the ages of 11 and 13, nearly 30% were nearsighted, and some didn't even know it. For 6 to 8-year-olds, it was 6%. Glasses are becoming the norm, but experts insist myopia can have serious consequences, from retinal degeneration and detachment to glaucoma and blindness.
It isn't innocuous at all. As soon as you are myopic, your risk of complications associated with that increases. And the higher your prescription, the higher your risk.
And the earlier myopia starts and goes undiagnosed, the faster it develops. Genetics play a role, but doctors think it's starting younger because of, you guessed it, all that screen time. And perhaps more importantly, what our screens are replacing.
There's a large amount of evidence that shows that spending time outdoors is actually a protective factor against myopia.
The study went further, showing that for every extra hour spent outdoors per week, a child's odds of being nearsighted dropped by 14%. Researchers say it may be the bright light, vitamin D, or the effects of sunlight on certain neurotransmitters. Either way, in China, where more than half of children are myopic, they're building glass classrooms.
I usually actually just message and email.
At home in Toronto, 7-year-old Jacqueline is busy. Her mother says limiting screen time to an hour a day is tough, but she'll try.
In terms of my takeaway, when we think of how we budget our family time, I would definitely be more motivated to get outside more.
Foresight that could help her daughter see well into the future.
Love you.
Christine Birak, CBC News, Toronto.
Also, using a lot of devices like computers and mobiles will harm everyone, especially those who use it a lot in their work and get harmful radiation.